Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nupehadda, and today we are going to have a little discussion about the current thought process of Six Samurais that is currently going on May 2nd of 2018. Now, I already did a video on Six Samurais, at least the deck profile. Well, not deck profile, but some gameplay elements with the new build that I have going on. Thanks to, now I'm going to get the number wrong here, but Black Mist 321, I believe. I'll probably try to do some corrections on this, but he showed me that Six Samurais are not dead, and I have to apologize to Six Samurais for that, because even I believed that they were dead for the longest of times. I should have known that with the new Noble Knight Link monster that came out, that Six Samurais would take advantage of this. And sure enough, they did. Now, recently, I hate trying to remember names, but Samurai 01 or whatever his name is, he's a famous YouTuber for Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything like that. He loves Six Samurais as much as I do. I don't know him personally. I only know I've seen a few of his videos. Some videos I like, some are just, I think they're way too competitive for any casual players to even make. But that's besides the point. Had a guy on there who won their 19th place at a regional and got their invite using practically a pure version of Six Samurais. Now, I have some good feelings about this, but also I'm scared. Not because of, you know, that people will use Six Samurais or anything like that to win the YCS or whatnot, or even Worlds, but I'm scared of the fact that the way the deck is built currently, it might be too simplified. Now let me explain. The biggest play you got to do is get two Six Samurais on the field and bring out the Noble Knight Link monster. Then go into Secret Six Samurai Fuma by sending one equip card from the deck to the graveyard. And this is where the combo starts. Depending on what your hand is, generally you are not going to have any issues, but if you don't have at least a bamboo sword in your hand, doesn't matter what it is, and you send a bamboo sword to the graveyard, a cursed bamboo sword, to get what you need, you still are down one card. However, because of what you have currently on the field versus what you have in your hand, you can actually potentially draw more cards than Six Samurais have ever had previously. Now, this is good because Six Samurais, and I've always harped about this, their biggest disadvantage is card advantage. What I mean, or hand advantage, I should say. What I mean is Six Samurais will always use their resources to the point that where you're always depleted from your hand. And if they screw your field up, you're dead. There is no way, ifs, ands, or buts about it. But now, that's not so much a problem with the new Link stuff. Link monsters, for all intents and purposes, have made it so Six Samurais are actually playable again, even for the casual players. Competitively, there's still a few bugs and everything like that, or kinks or whatever to consider, but if we can find that fine line to make it as good as it can be, and this is my view on it, I could see it going to the Worlds. and competing. I hope it doesn't win Worlds, because we know what Konami's like. When you win Worlds, you pretty much die at that point. I want Six Samurais to stay where they're at for the simple fact that Six Samurais are one of my most favorite decks of all time. Now, it's not the most long-running decks on my YouTube channel, but in real life, it was pretty much my longest running deck I've ever played. So, you know, I love that deck to death. I've always have. And I know its limitations, at least in the past. Nowadays, Six Samurais, the current deck, at least the one I showed and everything like that on my video, it's actually been upgraded, because by the time that video came up, all the way up until this video, I made some major changes. Some of them was from the guy that Sam interviewed about his 19th winning. I did some major modifications for two reasons. One, I don't have the extra deck cards that he has, and two, it doesn't fit my play style. So I had to add and remove cards because of that. Now, I'm still working on the extra deck, but I do have an idea when I want to run into it. Pretty much, he ran no traps. I currently run 3 double-edged sword techniques and 2 solemn strikes and 1 solemn warning. I refuse to run solemn judgment, not because it's a bad card or anything like that. It's actually a pretty good card. What it does, it's just the cost is too high to deal with. And for anyone who says life points don't matter, apparently haven't been playing the current meta. Life points matter to the point where Solemn Judgment, the only deck I would be comfortable running that card in, is Counter Fairies, because they don't have to pay the life point costs. Almost every game I've won when my opponent's Solemn Judgment moves, because they half their life points. And when you do that, you pretty much kill yourself. It's not like back in the old days where you still had a chance to recover, unless it was Dark Armed Dragon deck, the Teledads or whatever. But nowadays, decks are so versatile, so fast, combo heavy and everything like that, it's nearly impossible not to get killed because you decide to Solemn Judgment at the wrong time and put your life points at 4,000 or less, because once you do that, it just makes it easier for them to kill you. Zombies can attest to this. And now Six Samurais can do this, because Six Samurais do not need a Solemn Judgment. You have Solemn Strike and you have Solemn Warning, which will do what you need to do. The worst case scenario is you are paying 5,000 life points for 3 cards, but you negated 3 fangs for it, versus paying half your life points for 1. So some people are going to argue, well, Solemn Judgment is still the most powerful, and I have to argue. I think Solemn Warning is probably the second best card in the game when it comes to the Solemn cards. Solemn Scalding would be the first. You know, the only downfall is you have to pay a hefty fee, and it has a restriction to it. So, but I believe Solemn Warning is pretty much the best card of all the Solemn cards, you know, that are counter traps. Solemn Strike would be it's alright. I don't ever think it needs to be restricted, because the only thing it's going to stop is monster effects, and you still have spells and traps. Well, most people run spells nowadays. Hardly anyone's running traps, which is pretty much an advantage for me, considering I still run traps, because I, like to make my opponent think of what the heck I have. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. We're talking about Six Samurais. So, I'm glad Six Samurais are back, but I hope to God that Six Samurais do not end up as a one-trick pony. because it doesn't deserve that. I don't want to see, and I'm kind of wondering why I'm saying this, now, but in my mind it makes sense. I don't want to see Gateway go more than one. My reasoning for this is simple. If it goes past one per deck, Konami is going to shut it down. Later on in the future ban list or emergency ban list. I don't see Six Samurai surviving if Gateway goes to 2 or more. And that's mainly because Gateway is such a very powerful card in Six Samurais. I personally believe 1 is justifiable to have, but the way that the deck is right now, that the deck I have and the deck that I showed on my video, I don't think Gateway is needed anymore. Because the Noble Knight Link Monster and Bamboo Sword engine solves the majority of its problems that it had before. And if Secret Six Samurai Fuma gets killed, you can replace it with another Six Samurai of your choice, with the exception of another Fuma. So, yeah, I mean, Six Samurais are in a good position. It depends on what the ban list hit is going to do, but I feel like there's a few things that are going to happen. Six Samurais will stay where they're at and will not be touched for a good long time. Six Samurais will win the YCS and will win Worlds, and then it's going to get hit hard by Konami because they have to do that. Or eventually it's going to get power creeped again, and then they're just going to have to go back as being a sleeper deck for the most part. I don't view Six Samurais being... They're not a backup deck that you can run. Not like I said before about Burning Abyss being a backup deck. I see Six Samurais being what they need to be right now. I feel like that they could still use more support. I personally believe that they need a lot better support than what we got for the Spells and Trap lineup for the new Six Samurai support. Though I am thankful that we got better rarities of the older cards. But the monsters that we got, for the most part, were good. Fuma is probably the best card right now we have. So I just don't feel like Six Samurai should win the Worlds. I feel like they should be stopped at the YCS. Not because I dislike them or anything. I love Samurais. Like, they're my favorite deck of all time. I've already mentioned this, but I don't want Konami taking an interest in them and just start killing things. Because I feel like they would overkill the deck. They would hit Gateway, obviously. They would probably hit the Bamboo engine, which would really kill the deck, because that's the only draw power they have outside of Six Samurai United. But it's the only good draw power. Right now we have 6 draw cards, theoretically. And you have 2 Shien's dojos, which allow you to search for anything, but you're pretty much going after Fuma because he is the best card to get, unless you can build up counters. And you have 3 smoke signals and reinforcement army, which can get you practically anything you need. And I'm also running the red and blue variant, not as religiously as some people do, but they are useful for either going into the links, going for MX Saber Invoker, or killing something I don't want alive. So take it as you will for that. But yeah, pretty much my only biggest concerns right now is I don't want Six Samurais to be a one-trick pony. I want them to branch out, see how many variants there can be. There's variants of the older style. Modernly, there's only a few, and that also scares me a bit. But the older Six Samurai decks had a lot of variants to them, but most of them don't work anymore. At least not with the old mindset. So now we have to check I can't talk. Now we have to see what we can do with Six Samurais. We got to see how well we can make the deck work. And I hope that we can. But I also don't want them to win Worlds. I don't want that to happen. I would love to see them do that, but from a practical standpoint and knowing what Konami would do, it's better if they just stick to at least winning regionals, maybe a YCS, or maybe win the championships in North America. But that's as far as I want them to go. I don't want to be sitting, you know, watching Worlds, Six Samurai versus whatever the top meta is, and they dominate them, because then I'm just going to cringe, because I know Konami's going to be like, the deck has to die now. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm proud that Six Samurais are getting what they need now. It's been a long time coming, at least since Dragon Roar era. They have not seen activity, at least, you know, a very competitive activity. They've always been a casual deck, but a very easily get around casual deck, but not now. Now they have resources, and they have the link monsters and stuff like that they can go into. So, oh no, I'm very happy to play Six Samurais again. And I hope that they last for a very long time right now, because they need to. But without further ado, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.